we thought that she just needed a little more baking in the oven. So she needed to mature a little bit, but also kind of transition slowly into living in an apartment versus kind of just going straight into the apartment. Lauren's always adjusted to things a little, if we take baby steps and slower, than, jumping right in. We brought Lauren down for a tour, and she got into the car and said, "This is where I want to be." She had no doubts from the minute she had a tour that this is where she wanted to be. We were really impressed with the ability for her to continue her independent journey, to live in the apartments and kind of figure out how to live in an apartment, which is different than living in a dorm, which she was in before. We really needed her to focus on things like budgeting and how to plan a week's worth of food versus just snacks. The cooking aspect, she needed some additional learning on. Everything independent, laundry. She was able to do her laundry, but doing it unprompted and on her own just needed a little bit more work. She does a whole bunch of communication classes and budgeting classes. She does some fun ones like ceramics and what else do you do? Communications, social skills. I like some of the internet classes that teach them the safe way to navigate how to do all this. Some job skills classes. She has 2 internships that she's doing right now. She works at Burlington and she works at the church, and she enjoys both of them. Next year she'll be, entering a little bit more in the workforce. We looked at college programs, we looked at housing programs, we looked at some community kind of programs, and none of them seemed to be exactly what we wanted. They weren't exactly what Lauren wanted either until we got here. And then when we got here, it was an immediate. I think we felt like it was home. I think we felt like she could have a good life here. And it's not just about the 2-year program, but we met a lot of community members during our tours and our day trips, and they were all so happy, and they were all so together. Lauren is very social. She's always been very social. She has a large group of friends, and it was important to us that she continue that social aspect of her life, because we knew moving home wouldn't give her that same opportunity. So the social aspect here, all of the activities that they have to offer were huge. There's just always people around, and every weekend she does all the activities they offer. She's gone to Six Flags, she's gone to New York City, she's gone to baseball games, she's gone, she does arts and crafts kinds of activities that she loves. They do karaoke night. She loved going to the prom last spring. There's not really any activity that Lauren's not jumping on, and she's always been like that. So it was important for us that wherever she went would continue her social development, as well as, just the academic pieces and the life skill pieces, because it's a big part of who she is. Lauren has become much more independent. She's much more decision driven now. And when she comes home from a break, she's always anxious to get back. That's how much she loves it. When your child asks you to cut the break short, can I just go back now? That's a sign that they love it. She's got a good group of friends in the program, and they kind of work through problems together, and they have fun together, and it's kind of what you always want your child to have, whether they have a disability or not.
What are your goals?
What I think Lauren's goals are, and what our goals are very in tune. I think we want her to live her best life, whatever that can be. She will need supports. One of the reasons we sent her here was because after the program, we think she will need less support than she did before she came into it. Lauren is a spender. She's always been a spender, and the budgeting classes and the way that they do budgeting around here is helping her to reel in her spending and spend appropriately. I love the fact that she has to plan out her meals a week in advance and budget for them and stay not just in budget, but remember to spend that money wisely. She's learning to spend her money wisely. Instead of buying all this junk food, she's thinking, oh, I need dinner and not just snacks. I think, so budgeting is a huge part of what she needed to work on. And I think the life skills part. She is now able to cook dinners that she wasn't able to cook before. And they handed her keys to her apartment and she was like, what do we do? Because at home she doesn't need keys, and here she's like, what do I do? But being responsible for that and being responsible for her own world, her own laundry, her own shopping needs, her own issues with her apartment and reporting them and taking care of what needs to be taken care of. She wouldn't get that if she was at home, and I didn't find any other program from, like I said, pretty much the whole East Coast that did that kind of training. Really practical, but practical training is what she needed.
What were the other programs focused on?
They were, the typical college program that they have for people with disabilities is more from a social standpoint. She's like, Mom, go. I don't want you hanging around. And that's not a bad thing. There was a day when she wouldn't leave my side. And so now for me to drop her off and her wanting me to go and for her to go off on her own and be independent, that's a good thing. And it's taken a while, it's what we've been working for.
Yeah.
She's not afraid to be out on her own. She's not afraid to not be in our home. And she's not afraid to make decisions.